I have created a perfect quarterback, and I will be putting him on a military school, running the triple option, and seeing if he can lead Army to a national championship, playing on the hardest difficulty. I would like a Heisman as well, but I really want to win a title tonight. And outside of Notre Dame, this schedule feels somewhat manageable, at least if playing as a perfect quarterback changes the game the way that I'm hoping it will. Just running the triple option could be harder than anticipated, and I also needed a name for a perfect quarterback, so I went to my YouTube comment section. Cooper Simmons, you were the first name that I read, and I'll tell you this, you already rage bait me. What do you mean you think I look like I'm in my early 30s? I'm not happy about the comment, but I just picked the first one, so that's the name. And I would like to clarify, I am 23. We are not saying I'm a day older than that. Don't even start calling me Unk either. We got 99s for all of our stats, so I'm ready for a good time. But at the start of the season, we're actually not going to be as good as we should be at the end of the season because we can unlock abilities along the way. I will say, getting shifty is going to be our #1 priority. That is all I care for. And I thought, what would be a better way to open up our season than playing at Coastal Carolina on the teal field, so this is what we're going to be on. Our defense got us the ball around midfield, so I'm happy with that, but this camera angle is odd. So it threw me off on a play that could have been a great one to start out. We got to pitch this one over to self, and I guess that's how we're just going to get things done. I have never stuck with running the option for a video like this before. I always give it up. But we are going to try to win a Heisman, try to win a national championship with a perfect QB. And if we get in like a 3rd and long situation, we can still throw the football. I mean, it's not like these teams only run the option. That's going to be a good throw, putting us at the 4. But it is time to get Connor Simmons some carries close to the goal line, and it's just a QB power. He missed his hole. I got a plan for him on this next play, though. We're going to immediately try and get to the outside. 99 speed. You aren't going to catch him. And that is how we're going to start things out. This should be a fun season. There is a little bit of reliance on our teammates, though, whenever we're running this offense. We can't just keep the ball on every single play. I mean, defenses are going to pick up on that pretty fast, but we almost got out of there. I am telling you right now, if we had the shifty ability, I feel like we could have done something. Read option is going to make sure we get it. And we're going to actually let Connor Simmons take a play off. We're going to run the rocket toss, see if this can get us out in space. I wish Connor Simmons could get the ball off of this play. Tremba's looking good. So I'm liking what I am seeing so far with Army. And yeah, we're getting caught. 2nd and 10. This is where we are going to pull out the triple option. Connor Simmons has an opportunity to get loose, and there is nobody within like 10 feet of him. How did that happen, Coastal Carolina? I am sorry. Y'all have it nice here. Y'all got palm trees on the field, but the football product itself might not be there. What I was looking for here, though, was just a warm-up game for us to get a feel what we're going to be working with all season. And so far, I am feeling decent. We're going to try to pick up this 3rd down by juking to the outside and just getting out of there. I mean, do we really think that kid is going to be able to catch us? He's already out of the frame. He is out of the picture. This is what a perfect quarterback can do. There was part of me that was a little bit scared because I am not good running the option. But so far, Simmons has looked really good. If we did try and throw it with him, though, it doesn't work. So we just pulled that out to test it. If we get another touchdown, I'm going to feel pretty confident this game's already over. And that's before halftime. They hold us on 3rd and 2, though. Coach might take us off of the field, and that's not going to happen. So yeah, it is not looking good for Coastal Carolina at all. These direct quarterback runs, though, are the ones I'm looking for to really bust off big plays. And we just got the step to the outside. They're going to let us get in again. So as you can imagine, the longer this goes on for Coastal Carolina, the worse it's going to get for them. We're spinning for no reason. And after that touchdown, because we're a little bit worried about wear and tear, that was the last time that we were on the field with Connor Simmons. His final passing stat line included that 1 incompletion and then that 33-yard gain, so it was just a run-heavy game for him. 190 yards, 5 touchdowns on the ground, which is going to get the perfect quarterback 2 skill points, and that's a big deal if we wanted to upgrade sidestep, but I think we should still save them for shifty. If he can just do what he did in that last game one more time, I expect him to be in the Heisman race rather soon. Notre Dame is a running back up here, though. Remember, we have to face them with Army. So as you can imagine, I would much rather just deal with Tulsa for now. We'll worry about the road game against Notre Dame later. And look at this. What an intro for Army. I just love all the traditions that come with using a military school in this game. It was so special going out to the Army-Navy game this year in Baltimore. I am thankful, very thankful for that opportunity because of you all and USAA, of course. And I will say, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to top what all I got to experience last year. this college football season. It's going to be hard. Just like a lot of the rebuilds I do on the channel, I want to be able to showcase and go to different places I wouldn't typically go. But I can guarantee you, I get that text from Kentucky again, hey, we need you at this game. I'll be there in a heartbeat. I will be there in a heartbeat. Self is going to catch this one. It looks like he had a bronze shifty ability. So he is also going to be a solid option for us. This was supposed to be a fullback dive. Now we're running backwards for our lives. 99 speed will do a lot, but it cannot save the broken play. We're just going to have to pull this one here, pitch it again, and we might be out of field goal range. It's going to be 2nd and 22. Here we go, though. 3rd and 22. Can we make a good throw? It's an interception. Okay, we should have just kept it on the ground. Connor Simmons isn't looking as good against Tulsa. He almost broke free, but it's only the first quarter. There is still plenty of time left in this game. By the time we get the football again, it is going to be not good. 14-0 now. Only 2.5 minutes left in this first half. But we almost just had a huge run. And Connor Simmons is just working to carry us down the field. Something I am very interested in, though, is can we get them with this play action? We've done a lot of runs recently. We're going to see if we got them beat over top, and it's just going to be a throw on the run. It's my fault for thinking Tremba could have been the guy there. We got the fullback dive, though, for the first. And I guess this needs to be the final drive of the first half. Speed looking fast. Not having much success with that run, though. This is why we have got to work towards getting some abilities. Should not have kept that. And now we're in a very tough spot. It is 3rd and 14. I need to show you all the receivers that we are working with at Army. It's just not all that good. They got spies out there for a reason. Can we make the play? We did. Except we were a few inches short, which means fullback dive is going to have to work. Just 30 seconds left in this half now. We're getting up to the line fast. We're going to pull this one and should have pitched it. I think it only makes sense that we decide to start to throw it, and that could have been intercepted, but it's brought in. Here we go. It would be huge for us to get a touchdown instead of just a field goal before the end of this half. You know what? We got 99 hurdling. I thought it would work. If this is a quick 3-second play, then we can still get a field goal, but we're just going to have to throw it almost immediately and hope for the best. Where I was just going to watch the field goal, assuming that we would kick a field goal at the end of the half, but instead we ended up scoring a touchdown. So there's that. I guess that's what happens whenever you sim with a 99 overall quarterback. He's able to do stuff like this as well, where we can't fully make it to the end zone. But we got to start the 3rd quarter in a really nice position, and we're just going to make him miss for 5. I've noticed that we missed the extra point after the touchdown too, so not necessarily ideal. It's going to be 3rd and 6. And I think it is time for a direct snap, quarterback power, see how the blocks line up. We're able to get to the outside. Probably shouldn't have spun back into defenders. But you know what? It was a slow start for us offensively. Our defense isn't playing great. And after the play, Connor Simmons ended up in quite the position. I don't know what he's doing here, but he's doing a full-on headstand. If I was a good entertainer, I'd try to do one right now to show you all how bad it is for me. I don't think I've tried to attempt one since I was maybe 12 or 13 years old. But I also know you all aren't sitting right there doing one either. It is a difficult task. You tell me to drop and give you 20 or something, that's cool. But doing a full-on headstand, I'm a struggle there. 2-point conversion to tie things up. That is what we got. So this game changed really fast for us. We just had to get on the board first. Our defense has come to play in this second half as well. We are going to try and get through there. We're off of 1 tackle, but he can't get free. So here we go. 3rd and 7. Numbers-wise, the left side is just looking a little bit better. Blocks are somewhat there, but we have to punt. And this is a joke. I'm just being completely carried. We got the ball back after getting a safety. You know, I imagined I have a lot of success here at Army with a perfect quarterback. I was going to have to be making play after play. But this game has been the opposite of that. We're going to keep it here, only get 4. And I just want you to know how hard it is for me to stay with the option. I don't have this type of patience typically. I just want to air it out and throw for long touchdowns. We're sitting here getting a few yards per carry, and I'm supposed to just be excited about it. That was a neat play. And I'm wondering if I actually ran it correctly. We'll just hand it off here. Not sure why they thought that defense was going to stop us. Okay, so you pull it, and then you pitch it at the last second, and then we get 2 yards. That was a lot of work for not much, but we keep on getting back into this heavy set, and that'll allow us to get the first. There are just 4 minutes left in this game as well, so if we can finish off this drive, get a 9-point lead, we're going to be looking okay. And we need to get some more abilities as well. It'd be nice to have jukebox. The hurdle, though, we hurdled 2 guys. There was no world where I thought that was going to work. They have so many guys up there thinking that we're going to run it, but we're going to trust our receiver for like the first time. And apparently we went for the 2-point conversion when I simmed it instead of kicking an extra point. If you fail that, then it's still a 1-possession game. Makes no sense, but you know what? It is not going to matter. We just got the 4th down stop. and we're looking for one more big play. How is that not a fumble? It's like we're trying to keep Tulsa in this one. And you never know, maybe Connor Simmons is one of those guys that's putting a little bit of money on himself on the game. We do need him to perform a little bit better, though, because after Tulsa scored a touchdown, we are getting it back. But this was a super close matchup. Much different than our one against Coastal. That was their last time out, so we can take a knee. But if you were to compare our stat line from this game versus the last one, I'm not happy about it. My main takeaway is when we threw the ball more, we played a lot worse. We had 8 attempts this time, and we had that one interception. We're not going to talk about it for long. We still rushed for 160. It sure did not feel like it. And there are a few teams in the American Conference you don't want to play poorly against. Memphis is one of those. We're about to go on the road to play at the Tigers. We also got a road game at North Texas, so that's another one to note. Army-Navy game's going to be big. Notre Dame's going to be big. We also have our rivalry versus Air Force. So there's a lot coming up where we're going to be a little bit better equipped. We now have the shifty ability. We're also going to get bronze sidestep. Next thing we'll work on is shifty silver. And I'm telling you right now, by the time we get to the end of the season, it might feel like a completely different player that we're using. Here's another school, by the way, I would not mind going to for a game. And I think this is a great time to talk about it because there's been a lot of Memphis discussion recently. Removing the NBA team from there, I think it is ridiculous. If you've seen the hotel the NBA players are complaining about, it looks like a fine hotel to stay in. One that most of us would be happy with. And I've not been back to Memphis in probably about a decade now. I had a tournament there when I was younger. That barbecue was actually incredible. So I would like to get back there. I'd be more than happy staying in that hotel. I just think at some point you get used to the lifestyle. Maybe that's an excuse for it. There are probably way nicer stays that none of us could even imagine ever affording or being at that they're in. But also, a lot of these guys didn't grow up with millions of dollars, so you would think that it would be enough still. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically, LeBron was on just some golf YouTube channel. I think that's awesome. But he was saying that they just need to take the NBA team out of Memphis. Nobody wants to play there. The hotel's horrendous. And then as the internet does, they found so many clips of other people in the NBA that have played talking about how horrible that Memphis hotel is. So there is something valid about it. I saw the GFed investigation, though, friend of the channel. It just didn't look like it was that bad. But either way, I don't think I'm going to have an invite to Memphis, even if I wanted an invite to Memphis. If I haven't already told the story, if you haven't heard it, there might have been a time where I scammed the Memphis football program. I'll explain more in a second. Let's worry about this 4th and 2 first. This has been a long drive down the field. But anyway, I just opened Twitter one day and I saw they put out a tweet. It was when College Football 25 dropped. And they wanted to give away 5 signed footballs to fans of the Tigers. Now, we all know I'm a Kentucky fan. I am not a Memphis fan. But if you put a signed football on the line, I am going to do whatever it takes to get it. It's literally free, and I'm sitting there at home while they've put it out in the middle of the day because I get to do this for a living. I don't have a life outside of it. So I have a perfect opportunity to complete the challenge. Spoiler alert, we'll talk about the challenge and where I might have scammed them a little bit in a second, but you see that football right there behind me? That's the Memphis football. It's always with us. As you can see, there are a lot of signed names on here, and I'm not sure who all these players even are. You can see the numbers, so it's probably easy to find. It's from a couple years ago. I didn't look into it much. It just sits on the shelf, but how I got this, it's a little questionable. Basically, the challenge was the first 5 fans to submit proof in a comment replying to the tweet that you've won a national championship with Memphis in College Football 25 to celebrate the launch gets this signed football. So what did I do? I did the most obvious thing. In the span of about 2 minutes, I started a dynasty file. I force-winned our entire schedule. Then we got to the playoffs. I force-winned everything there. I took a screenshot of the playoff bracket with us winning it all. Commented on the tweet. I was the first one to reply. So now for the history of our channel, this will always be sitting there in the background. I love you, Memphis. Sorry, but it was the only way to get something this cool. Technically, I followed all the rules. All they said was win a championship, but it was probably more so intended for actual fans of the program that also did it legit. They didn't just force wins and get it done in a couple of seconds. Are we about to get a touchdown? We came close to it. Anyway, I know I've told this story at least somewhere one time before because after I did, I went back and looked at the Memphis football account on Twitter, and it turns out I've been unfollowed. So I think it's safe to say they might not be fans of the channel or will ever be my first rebuild. But the good thing about college football is there are 136, going to be 138 Division I football programs. And that's just at the FBS level. You got FCS as well. So with that in mind, if it takes burning one bridge to get the signed football, it's worth it. In fact, I would argue that most of you all watching this video would do the same thing if you saw the tweet fast enough. And if you hadn't thought of an idea like that, just wait until next year when these teams put out their plans to try and give fans free stuff with the celebration of the game coming out. What a play from Connor Simmons. He's a little bit tired here. He needs to get out of bounds. But anyway, I have just given you the method. If you want to get free stuff potentially, if that's the challenge, now you know how to beat everybody to it. That is my Memphis story, though. Took about the entire first half of this game. I haven't really been paying attention too much to what's been going on. But it is only 6-0. It's taken us a long time to move the ball against them on every single drive. If that block holds up, though, Self can be gone, and it's not going to help a Heisman campaign, but that's okay. I think Army went like 7-6 this year, so we're just trying to elevate the level of this team. And Connor Simmons has done a great job of it so far. He's just going to skate right by them. I wasn't sure if we should cut to the outside considering we were supposed to run that directly up the middle, but that was the right decision. So that gave us a 3-possession lead until Memphis scored near the end of the third quarter, so it's not completely over. We still need to probably have one more successful drive, and we're just going to try and hurdle these kids. It is very clear that you got to get to the outside about as quick as possible, and that's going to give you the best chance at having a huge play. He caught us. It's all good, though. We're going to get this ball back up by 14. We just aren't doing much with it. 3rd and 11. I know that they're going to have a free rusher coming off the edge. I hate passing out of this formation. Luckily for us, though, our defense held on, so we're going to pick up the win. And it felt like a little bit of a step back for Cooper Simmons, but actually, it was his best rushing performance yet with over 200 rushing yards. He still hasn't been able to put his name into the Heisman conversation, but you have to imagine that that time is coming soon, especially if we could do something like dropping 4 touchdowns on Rice. This is a game against one of the smartest schools in the country, but are they smart enough to have an answer for Cooper Simmons? That's the question, and even if you think you do, they have to be athletic enough, which so far has not been a problem. On 3rd down, though, we make the throw, and it was not a good meter. But do you think Cooper Simmons cares? No, he's a perfect quarterback for a reason, and I just want to make this kid miss. We're going to try and get this ourselves. There are times where it is worth it to rely on your teammates, and there are other times where it's worth it to not. That right there was just a little bit of confusion. Sometimes you don't know what button to hit. And at the moment, we are barely averaging 1 yard per carry. So we need to get those numbers up. Every so often, though, the surprise throw can cause you to lose more yards. And these receivers are not beating that press on the outside. I'll just tell you that right now. They're not very good. Never mind. I lied. I lied to you all. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie. Is that a tank on the field? There's a tank on the field. I love this place even more. No offense to FIU. Your Lambos on the field are cool and all, but this is just 10 times sicker. Now I have to see a game up at Army. I think they're in New York, right? There is no way I don't get to a game and get to see this tank. Is this a history thing? Should I understand what isentropic expansion means? I feel like I should. I've literally never heard the words before, but some fields just got unique touches and I've never noticed this one. What that has now started to cause is me just going down the pipeline of exploring every inch of the stadium. I will recommend you do this at Hawaii Stadium. You'll find some really interesting stuff there. You also will notice that the pictures of the people in the windows are like the same 8 pictures copy and pasted. The people do not change. And if you just take a closer look at the bench, sometimes I think these models just crack me up. They look a little off, and this guy, he is just not having a good time. We just scored a touchdown, dude. You know, I don't think he's a big Cooper Simmons fan. Maybe he took his starting job, he took his girl. 1 man to make miss, and this is a touchdown. 1 man to make miss, and 9 still catches us. I'm trying to keep my composure because I really felt like we were going to be gone there. But he came out of nowhere, made the play. They do have the athletes here at Rice to compete. And with it being 2nd and 15, we are going to go to the air for a second. He threw an inaccurate ball. He's 99 everything. Okay, well, Rice is putting up a good fight against us, just like Tulsa did. So with 2 minutes left in this first half, we're trailing 10-7. We're about to run a train on them, though. It's called Power Train. This formation will get us to the outside, and it's going to be a safety potentially. Don't go down in the end zone. Do whatever you can to... This is so much worse. This is so much worse. We are in a rough position. This is still doable. Quit trying to act all cool. And listen, it's just time to lock in. I haven't been locked in. There was part of me that felt like we might be able to breeze through this game, and obviously that part of me was incorrect. We're just going to go for the first. Not the type of hit that you want to be taking with your quarterback, though. On 3rd down, we got it. And there is still a minute left on the clock. We do have time to get down the field. We're going to go for a playmaker. We're going to set our feet. It's just not working. Nothing is. You know, part of me thinks that when we get the ball back at midfield with 19 seconds left, because our defense is playing out of this world, we should be a little bit more careful. But we need points, and we need points bad. I'm not sure how far we have to get to be in field goal range. Though I'll tell you this, now that we're at the 30, we are going to be a little bit more aggressive here. I was going to step up and throw it. I'm so bad at this game. I'm so bad at this game. I didn't even call a timeout so we could attempt the 59-yarder. What an awful half. Well, I think the solution is simple. All direct quarterback runs. We don't need to give it to anybody on our team. That is where things have been going wrong. We're going to flip this play. We're going to run it to the outside and get 4. They're cheating, though. They know that we're running to the right side. They got that corner playing up so we could be there to make the tackle. We break off of the first one. We're still not at the marker. But we continue to go with direct snaps and get off that tackle. Get off that tackle. Come on. I'm actually panicking so hard because I feel like a playoff spot is attainable if you lose to Notre Dame. But if you lose to Rice, there is zero room for error the rest of the season. And we need to get more abilities too. He just doesn't feel like a 99 overall as a perfect player right now. It's 4th and 3. Here we go. We got to throw it too. They are going to go with zone coverage. They got the quarterback spies out there. And full-blown panic is actually setting in. But they had some match coverage. We've taken advantage. And we currently have 24 rushes for 93 yards. Almost 100 yards on the game. Still isn't bad. We're going to get over 100 here. But we're still losing. However, our luck is off the charts. The last time Rice drove down inside our red zone, we got a pick 6, which is why we currently have a lead. But they just took that one in. So we're not going to get back-to-back luck. Rice has been on the field forever, and it puts us in a position with 3 minutes, 49 seconds left, trailing by 4. What I'm realizing, though, is we have completely abandoned the triple option. We have to get back to it a little bit and just trust that we can still get down the field. You got to pitch that ball out. Very late read. We're lucky that we got a positive gain. And this is a real challenge. We're going to go with a quarterback counter. Our blocks, they were there for a second. We got caught up, but we're still turning this into a first down. And this game is just all over the place. We got man-to-man coverage, though. That should have been picked. Have I just gotten worse at reading defenses throughout this video and relying on only running the football? That's what it feels like. It is now 3rd and 3, and the option is big. The option puts us at the 6. But we have to be careful here. If we score too soon, Rice is going to have a really good opportunity to respond, and I didn't want to get in. I have a feeling that we are most likely going to be looking at overtime, but our defense has them on a 3rd and 15. This is like a 50-50 ball. Surely we don't give this up. We almost did. And they've saved us in this game. The pick 6 alone was just such a huge deal. Are they going to save us one more time? Don't catch this. No, I can't with this game. I can't with this game. I never, like, what? There is just so much that this game does to rage bait you, to make you question your life, to question what you're doing. We gave that up. That's a touchdown somehow. It's time to lock in, though. It leaves us with 30 seconds left. We still have all 3 of our timeouts. Problem is, not much of a passing team here. We can't even catch that. And this might be the wrong call, but I have an idea. If they're only putting 3 guys up on the line, what if we decided to start running the football and then got out of bounds? Especially if we go with a heavy set and we flip a run to the weak side. What if it's there? What if it's there? It is now 4th and 1. But there is no reason we shouldn't at least convert this. We're going to fail. We're going to fail. I wanted to run that to the outside so bad. We got basically 2 plays left in us. This is the first one. This is the first one. Can we sneak through there? No. So here we go. This is the game. Hail Mary for the win. Do we have an opportunity here? We do. Why did he start running back to us? You know, there are things that can go wrong in these perfect player videos, but this might be the worst way we have ever lost. And you know what? It is a real wake-up call. If we are going to be successful with Cooper Simmons, we are going to have to win out. I think we're going to have to win out on this schedule. The good news is he is now going to have Silver Shifty and Silver Sidestep, so that has improved a little bit. But I just cannot believe that we lost to Rice. We lost to Rice. If we drop another game, it is going to be a very long year. And I already said I'm sticking with the triple option. I'm sticking with running the football. We're not going to give up on it. We're not going to give up on it. Okay, that was actually nice. We have a little bit of momentum to open up the game. We're going to have to pitch this. We're going to have to pitch this one. And I think I'm going to have to be a little bit more reliant on my teammates than I was thinking I would. We are going to go to the air on 3rd and 4, but I will leave the pocket if necessary. It's caught. And I think if I don't press anything, I keep the ball. These buttons, though, they're throwing me off. What is the button to pitch this? Pitch this. We had him. Just like that, it is 3rd and 12. Cooper Simmons, he was patient. He dropped back. Now we're just doing anything to make this a first down. Fortunately, it worked. But he is going to be a little bit fatigued. His stamina is going to be a little bit drained. And we're still going to get a touchdown run here as he gets in. For whatever reason, though, Coach is just obsessed with going for it every time we score our first touchdown. So we got to start actually playing that. And I know I've said that I need to start making those pitch reads, but I actually do. If I don't, I already know the comments are going to be a war zone. This guy can't run the option to save his life. But I'm going to shut y'all up right now. It's 4th and 3. This is how you do it. Okay, this is not how you do it. They didn't even let us scoop it up and play from that point. You know, most of the time, when you got the perfect quarterback, he's so overpowered. And that goes for any perfect player. I've only ever done it with halfbacks, receivers, and quarterbacks, but I would imagine corners would be the same way too. Except we just feel slower whenever we're running the option. We don't feel like we have 99 speed. In fact, I feel faster when we drop back and start doing stuff like this. We're out of stamina. We are out of stamina. Okay, it is time to lock in. It's 3rd and 8. We need a good throw. It's a flag. It is a flag. That is right. Did we run into him and cause it? Potentially, but the ref didn't see it that way. So we have a new set of downs, and that left side of the field is looking awful enticing right now. It's looking enticing. Our block just didn't hold. Last play of the first quarter. It's going to be 3. And we really do need to finish off this drive. Let's hurdle this linebacker. Or not. You know, this is 4-down territory for Army. Either that or we just don't have a kicker. It's one of the two. We're still getting brought down. You know, I think we're just really fatigued. I might have hurdled into a 250-pound linebacker. And then a couple plays later, we're taking hits like that. So Cooper Simmons is going through it. What we need is the workhorse ability, but there is no way to customize that. It's unattainable. Do we have a touchdown here? Give us the touchdown. What a hit. It's actually good news for Simmons as well, because this will help us potentially get back into the Heisman race if we get in. And I tried to hurry it up, but they called a timeout. Hang on, though. I know I looked at this exact frame recently because I was talking about the fans in the windows. There were 3 Heisman Trophy winners at Army. I knew there was a time where the military schools dominated college football. You can see that by these national championships. But Heisman Trophy winners as well? What type of stats were they putting up with those national championships? How many teams were there? When you think about it, for them to be that good, it does make sense for them to have Heisman Trophy winners. What a throw. What a throw. We just got 15 when we should have had 0. There's also an ability that will give us more accuracy on those pitches, so we need to look into that in the future. But so far, so good. The drive will continue with another potential big run. We just can't seem to finish off anything. He doesn't seem to have his top-end speed. Temple was all over that last play, though, and the same kid's doing it again, which means if we just want to get a field goal out of this drive, we might have to use our legs here, or we could have a touchdown throw on the run. It's dropped. It just went from potentially being 21-3 to 14 all. I mean, that is one of the most unbelievable turns ever. What happened was we had to punt it back to Temple. They got a field goal to end the half, and then they started the second half with a touchdown. Now we're losing at least 5. And I am just annoyed. We made the play that we needed. Our receivers just weren't clutch. There we go, though. That was at least held on to. I mean, he was open enough. He should have. Can we get around one player? Should have juked. We're not going to be able to get spin cycle with Cooper Simmons, so we got to get the spins out of there. And we're very close to field goal range once again. I hate this play. At least Temple isn't going to do anything with it either. They punted it back to us in 3 plays. But we are just really struggling. And again, they're all over us. Here we go. 3rd and 10. Dropping 8 back into coverage. So you either have to make a play with your legs or just trust that your guys catch it. There's just literally no one that carries this team harder than our defense. They got us the ball back on the 26-yard line. Simmons, okay, he carries this team pretty hard too, but none of this would even be possible if they didn't get us the ball in these good positions. But what I find so funny is anytime we got to get the ball back because it's tied, they tend to do it. When we need to stop at the end, though, they just aren't as clutch. Miracles happen. We saw that happen against Rice. Can we keep them out of the end zone? It is 4th and 5. All we're doing is watching from the sideline, and that is going to be a jump ball that they catch. It's just ridiculous. Every receiver's Randy Moss against us in the final minute. At this point, we better hope that we can put something together here in the final 30 seconds. Because I'll tell you right now, I don't want to see Temple in overtime. Actually, those blocks are solid. They're very solid. We're gone. We're gone. Oh my gosh, Cooper Simmons saves the day. I didn't know if he had it in him. We have not seen his speed work like that in a while. What a shot. What a shot from the cameraman right there. If we were looking for a Heisman moment out of him, that was it right there. 4 touchdowns in this game. Another thing I just want to quickly note is we don't have Tulane on our schedule, and Rice beat us, plus they're still undefeated in conference play. They've only played 2 games there, but we might not be able to get to our conference championship in the first place if they both win out. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. Notre Dame still got a kid up here. And our next opponent is going to be none other than UAB. Speaking of hotels, by the way, that teams stay at for away games, I have stayed at the hotel teams stay at whenever they play at UAB. And you know what? It was really nice. Probably had the nicest hotel gym I've ever been at. It was spacious. It had a turf field in there even. So I rated that. Didn't spend much time in Birmingham itself though. There have only been 2 times in my life I've even been to Birmingham, and both of them were on the way to Tuscaloosa. It's just a short little stop, then you go an hour down the highway to Tuscaloosa. And every time I go back to Alabama, I just wish that I went to college at a school like Alabama. Northern Kentucky wasn't anything like that. We're not getting the first down. But we got an aggressive coach. He said we're going for it on 4th and 4. So you can't complain about that. No way we were catching it. My expectations for this team are so low. We're just going to hand this one off. We haven't been handing it off enough. And it's because the perfect player is the focus of this video. I want to keep the focus on him, but obviously they're locked in on stopping him. And then other times like that, we probably should have just held on to it. Now, we almost had a big play there, but it is going to be 3rd and 5 to end this first quarter. We got the blocks, hopefully, and we're still short. That means by the time we get it back with a few minutes left in this first half, can we get around him? We can. Okay. I was going to say I was starting to panic, but we're going to get a touchdown. It's going to be back within a possession, and that's how we need to run it more often. I don't even want to be going for this 2-point conversion, but we're gonna have to. And what a beautiful defensive unit we got over here at Army. Look at where we're getting this football. We're at the 10. It is now 3rd and 6 though. Let's juke to the outside. I thought we could get that. And I have bad news. I can see why we're not kicking extra points, why we're not settling for field goals. We missed a 26-yarder. That is just another issue that is going to hurt us all year. And what type of Heisman campaign are we really having? That first game felt so good, and ever since then, it's just been downhill. We'll get like one long fluky touchdown every game, and then everything else is a disaster. So we really need another one of those big plays. What? 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 He's still on his feet? Was that realistic? No. It wasn't. Whatever speed boost we just saw was so random. And that might be one of the fastest ones I've been able to get with Shifty. You know, if I knew how to replicate this every single play, I would love to do it. But I only get the stride right every so often. That was just sweet there. But we literally gave up a touchdown within like a minute. Within a minute of having that huge play ourselves, we just give one up right back to UAB. This has turned into our best rushing game, though. We're already at almost 200 yards. That'll put us over. And on just 15 carries as well. It's an insane performance. I guess we're getting to the outside and running. I was trying to find the streak down the field, but they had 2 guys on him. There they are. Cooper Simmons just has to be exhausted by now, but he's still getting looks. And we're headed into this 4th quarter, trailing to the Blazers, but in the position where we should at least tie it up, though we missed a field goal from here already. I'm not sure I really have much faith in anybody on this team outside of our defense. And on 3rd and 8, I think we're going to just have to trust that Ferris gets open. 50-50 ball. Catch it. He caught it. He caught it. We have a receiver catching something. It does help, though, that we had the size mismatch. He was in position. We got to stop as well, but we're getting it on the 3. This is pretty concerning. One mistake, and it's a safety. But I have a plan here on 3rd and 6. Please do not let a free rusher get in. Okay, we'll just run up the middle. It is going to turn into another close call. It's a fumble. It's a fumble. We got that. What a save by our running back to just dive in there and actually make an effort to get it. I wish Cam Newton did the same. On 3rd and 5, these might be the best blocks that we've seen all year. These might be the best blocks we've seen all year. Our team is finally starting to figure things out. Best game of the season, by far. At the very end of the game, one of our running backs would even get a touchdown for himself. this is how we're going to close it out. Not great passing stats, but our rushing yards would be really good if those were passing yards. I mean, 333 is just crazy. We are also going to see FAU, Rice, and Tulane all lose just 1 week later. These were the 3 undefeated teams in the American, so now we're sitting on top, tied with Navy and North Texas, which we could not have been luckier with because we play the Mean Green on the road the next week. You know, I was repping the Mean Green before it was popular this season, before Drew Mestamaker got there. They got a really, really tall athletic director. I've touched that eagle. I got a picture next to that eagle. Flying into Denton, Texas was, well, I guess Dallas, Texas is where you fly into. But it was when I discovered the claim I'm about to make that some of y'all might be a little bit upset with. I don't know. Since I've been doing this for a couple years now, I'd say I probably end up flying like once a month on average. So I've been able to see most of the airports in the U.S., at least the ones that are major hubs, because especially now in Louisville, most flights are not direct. Anyway, of all those airports, my favorite one and what I think the best one is Dallas-Fort Worth. For a layover, it is literally perfect. You go to Whataburger real quick. We're going to hit this guy on 3rd and 8. Make sure we pick up the first down, but they also got a monorail. So instead of going in between the terminals, underground, taking a bus, any of that, you get on the monorail. No. We got to get to this still. We lost a lot of yards. But if that pitch was just accurate, then all of a sudden, we had a huge play there. They got a guy out, but one stiff arm is going to make this a 3rd and 15. And the last time we passed the ball, it worked out. So we got to lock in here. Cover 2. Can we place it on the money and actually catch it? Those are the types of throws you expect a perfect quarterback to make. But back to what I was saying, I love the Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. Not the Southwest one. I think I've only been through the Southwest one like one time, and if I'm remembering right, maybe I was in a small terminal, but it was small. And let's just get in here. Touchdown on 3rd and goal. We got it. If I had to put other airports in my top few, I actually do really like Atlanta. I've never had any issues in Atlanta. So that one might be there. 3rd and 15. And also Tampa's was incredibly nice. It was huge, had a ton of flights. You could also get direct out of St. Pete, which was a close drive, but don't live there anymore. If this works, if this worked. It did not, but it was a good effort. We get the ball back, still 6-3. But yep, top 3, Dallas-Fort Worth, then give me Tampa, then give me Atlanta. You might wonder, is other airports like Chicago up there? I've only been to O'Hare once, and I had to run to my flight across the entire airport. Not a great way to experience it. I will give LAX credit. Last time I was there, TSA was so fast. This is what I thought would happen a lot when running the option. It hadn't yet, but now I'm remembering why I don't touch the option in the pitching. That was my fault completely. I just have a very hard time not trying to pitch it at the last second and going down. It's a hard thing to do. We're taking a chance. 50-50. Give it to us. Why are we throwing up 50-50 balls? Our guys can't catch. You make one mistake, and all of a sudden I want to go full air raid offense away from what has been our offense the entire course of this video, which is just not necessary. What's another airport I've been through recently? Denver. I had Denver for a layover, and anything you can expect out of Denver stereotypically, that is exactly how it went. Mind you, I have never smoked anything before in my life, but the 2 people I interacted with there were as high as could be. They were high as a kite. There was no questioning it. It was so obvious. Way too obvious for being on the job. But you know what? The guy that gave me my slice of pizza was such a vibe. It did make my day better. Anyway, Denver's looks like it was pretty nice. I feel like that's also a huge airport. I watched a video on YouTube about it at one point. But all this airport talk and not enough scoring in the first half has put us down by 4. With North Texas just stopping the run incredibly well, we're actually going to have a passing touchdown. They've been so used to stopping us on the ground, we were just able to finally beat the press and get one. It is nice to know that we potentially have that in the tank if teams continue to stay super aggressive with the run D. And what's another airport? Charlotte. Charlotte's also another hub you go through all the time. I swear it has been under construction forever. And on 3rd and 11, we're just going to have to make this throw. Oh my gosh, it's awesome. At the moment, Cooper Simmons is finally playing like a perfect QB. He has 20 rushes for 20 yards in this game. North Texas has shut down the run more than any other team, but through the air, he's been incredible, and on the ground, he's getting it going too. Fun fact about the Charlotte airport, by the way, I've met the most of you all in that airport. I think I've met more fans in that airport than all other airports combined. Granted, I have had a lot of flights go through either there or Atlanta, so There's a little bit of bias there, but I guess a lot of Bordeaux watchers reside in Charlotte. North Texas has also done almost nothing against our defense, which has been really nice because we're going to head into the fourth quarter feeling comfortable against a team. I literally can't remember the last time that happened. It's another big run. It's another big run. It's all starting to work out. We have been waiting for this moment. Cooper Simmons is currently playing out of his mind, but it really did not start until the third quarter. There was a moment in this third quarter where he did have those 20 rushes for 20 yards, and that could have been picked. You know, you might be able to argue our confidence could have gotten a little bit too up there, but we're going to look on third down to fit it into that window, and he can still have inaccurate balls. He can still have inaccurate passes. This game's not completely over. However, our defense got to stop on fourth down, and also Cooper Simmons showed off that 99 pursuit and tackling after the pick. He was able to get out there. I feel like I'm just not patient enough with some of these runs, though. It might be half the problem. They are pressing. Once again, we're not going to have him. So now we need a play, and this is it, right? No, we're punting. There was nothing too memorable that went on in that fourth quarter, but we got through it winning 29-10, which is going to lead us into two more incredibly important games, our rivalry against Air Force and then at Notre Dame. If we can't win these two, I don't know what the rest of our season looks like. We're currently not in the top 25. If we look to see if we're receiving votes, North Texas is receiving votes, but we are not. So to be a playoff team, not only do we need to win the American Conference, we're going to have to beat the Fighting Irish. And I believe either getting Magician up to silver or getting Gold Shifty could really help with that. We could also get Workhorse. I'm really questioning which one of these to go. Option King is even a good one. But I do think at the end of the day, we just want to focus on Shifty first, even though Magician could be really beneficial. And if there's a moment in this game where we get hot and we're playing really well, I think it can get up to Heisman. We can at least upgrade it to Platinum mid-game. It's just a massive deal to have a gold ability versus a silver ability due to that. And to open things up, we're going to keep it here. We're going to fumble it away to Air Force. What a start. What a start. There was literally no reason to get rid of that. I saw that this side of the field was a little bit more open, so that's why I ran to it. But we spotted them a free 7 points, and we're not playing the way we need to before Notre Dame. I feel like my brain's not even working or processing anything. Why we didn't pitch that ball out, I could not tell you, but out in the open field, we're getting caught. So we still got more work to do on this drive, and we're going down. 2nd and 13. We pitch it immediately. We had to, but it doesn't do much. So we're back to throwing the football, and we're going to take a sack here. We were going to take a sack. We juke into him. We're just playing bad. This is it. Last game of the night. If I do any more, we're going to continue to struggle, and that one against Notre Dame is such a big deal. Here on 2nd and 5. I'm trying to pitch it. I caught that? Okay, that was wild. Are we watching my brain just, like, disintegrate in real time, though? What am I thinking? I don't know what's happening. This is scary. Too many TikToks, too much short form content. They do say it's better for you. Studies show if you watch Bordeaux videos, if you can pay attention or at least put it on in the background versus scrolling short form content, it is better for your brain in the long run. So you should probably continue to watch them. Touchdown run. We'll take it. That does bring up the funniest thing that is always said when I get to meet some of you all. Is I fall asleep to your videos. You know, I think some people might take offense to that, but I sure don't. I fall asleep to YouTube videos all the time. Do you know how embarrassing it is to have a girl next to you in bed and you're like, hang on, let me throw on this YouTube video so I can fall asleep? I wish I could sit here and tell you all that that has not happened with a straight face, but it happens. It has to happen. I don't know why. I need something. I need to watch something to be able to sleep. You always got to pick out something that's like halfway respectable at that point too. Something that's not going to raise any flags. So Josh Pate is a good go-to if I'm not alone. Just college football shows. Not watching anything too crazy. Now, in my free time, I'm learning all about the world. The economics, everything. World conflicts, all of that. It really does intrigue me a little bit. I almost turned what should have been the easiest touchdown run ever into a loss of yards, by the way. My stick work is horrendous. Our defense needs to be paid more NIL money, though. I'll tell you that. The fact that we get this ball back basically inside the red zone is such a gift. We have an opportunity to end this half with a touchdown, and we don't. We throw an interception. I thought I could put it above his head, and Air Force started the third quarter with a touchdown of their own. If they keep on coming out pressing, though, we are going to audible and test it, and we're going to test it. I saw him beat the press, and we're going to do it. We're just going to put it out there that we can score that way, too. And now the next time we get it back, They are still pressing us. They still do not respect it at all. I at least feel a little bit more comfortable, though, operating from a tied position. I'm really just pitching the ball way too late. That's 90% of the problem. I'm so focused on trying to just feature this perfect quarterback that we're messing up our chances of winning. This is not an offense that is a one-man show. It's like a five-man show, and we're not treating it that way. Every so often, though, your star can make plays like this. And look at our defense. They're just so inspirational right now with the stops that they're getting. Go for the hurdle. Go for the hurdle. 2nd and 3. Let me pull this and make this guy miss. Oh, we picked him up with a block. Even better. I thought we could get around him. I'm telling you right now, Shifty will do some crazy things. You just need it to activate. We're lucky. Whatever that was, we need to aim to never do that again. And on 3rd and 10, we are going to have our comeback route potentially. Bad throw. You know, I think we got a little bit too comfortable. Air Force marched down the field, and they were able to score, so it's all tied. And if they force us to a 3 and out here, they're going to have the ball back with a chance to win. But we're in the open field. We're going to be at the 43 now. And I think we have found one of the better option plays in this playbook. Whether we make the correct read or not, it's typically there. This is where I'm a little bit nervous, though. Are we going to make the correct read? We didn't. So we should have never switched it up. It is going to be 3rd and 9. And after dropping back, scrambling was not the right choice. It sent us into overtime where Air Force was able to get a field goal on their first drive, but nothing more than that. We're going to be on a 3rd and 8. And I might pull out a quarterback draw. I feel like they're not going to be ready for it. But they were. We're kicking our 3. No, we can't. I've not forgotten about the field goals our kicker has missed. I am not comfortable with kicking a field goal here. We have to go for it on 4th and 9, or else there's a flag. There's a flag. This is bad. This is quite possibly the worst time for a holding call. I don't know how we're going to pull this off. There is genuinely almost no hope here. And we're already getting rushed in immediately. I don't know what to do. Just send it up. Did he catch it? No. He dropped that? Are you kidding? We were literally about to defy odds there. I turned that play into something, and our guys just cannot catch it. But I guess Army's not really known for their receivers. This is what we've been stuck with. Though, you know what? Maybe this entire time, we just needed to get Magician instead of Shifty. There is one main takeaway from that result, though, and it's that I don't think we're completely out of the playoff picture. James Madison is ranked 1 spot above us. And as far as I'm concerned, there are no group of 5 teams that are currently ranked outside of North Texas, who we have a win over. And I guess if we go over to the media poll, we'll see if there are any others that are receiving votes. Tulane's up there, but they're also in our conference. James Madison's getting 1. So I still strongly believe we can get to the playoffs. We just have to win out. We have to somehow beat Notre Dame, which doesn't seem like it's going to be realistic. We lost to Rice and Air Force, but we're at the top of our conference still. We might as well, even though with all of our stats already being 99, max out this stuff in Tactician too. Maybe that'll put some of our stats above 100, and just know our entire season is on the line against Notre Dame because we cannot have 3 losses for sure and be a playoff team. At least the weather is setting up to help us out a little bit. Hopefully we can slip off of some tackles, and we're just going to open up this game trying to pitch it. My first play of the day was a fail. Not exactly the way that you want to open this one up. Are you kidding me? It is already 3rd and 17. We're picking up right where we left off, struggling, and on 3rd and long, I mean, what do you do? What do you do to get that? Luckily for us, our defense has set the tone. They showed up for that first drive. And, I mean, teams are just smart. They're keyed in on stopping us solely, which is why the better season that we've had as the year's gone on, we just haven't been able to run very effectively at all. Look at us getting hawked down there. It's just hard to accept that we probably are not going to achieve everything that I was hoping for in this video. We spun into the first, and it felt like there was a lot of open running room on that side. If we're more patient with it maybe, or spin back, no. What we might need to do is drop back a little bit more and just try to make plays behind the pocket, though you could see that we had almost no chance there of getting out. Throws on the money. We'll take it. We lateraled it, and it worked! It worked! I thought it was going to go straight into his hands, but we scoop it up. We celebrate into the end zone. What a start. Credit to Notre Dame. They did drive down the field and respond back pretty easily. But I really liked what we did on that play, and we just don't even stand a chance here. I mean, we're running back for our lives. Shouldn't have even gotten it out. Just not the ideal setup. 3rd and 8. Can we at least get an opportunity to get this ball out, or are we going to get hawked down immediately? I mean, this is ridiculous. Look how many guys are pursuing us. And we fumbled. 99 carrying, but we still fumble. Well, we set them up to score a touchdown, so there's that. All over us again. And there's just not much we can do. We're not going to be able to run the option. They know who to stop. Hang on. We might have found something here. Let's use Shifty, try to get around him. That was a really big play for us, and we could still end this first half with a tie game. We just need to have a good drive here. I have to give up on it. Unless more often than not, I should have been handing it off to our fullback. I mean, that is a very real possibility. We got to get out of here on this play, and we're going to. Simmons gets us to the 15, where he deserves a play off. Let's just hand it off and get a few. We really need to be smart about the clock here. We don't want the Irish to get it back before the end of the half. And that is one thing we've not worried much about, is fumbling the ball. We've taken hit after hit. We're in. We even forced a 3 and out. So with 25 seconds left, we have an opportunity to take the lead. And I know you see that Platinum Shifty activating. This is a really, really big chance. We're going to roll out here, and we're going to scramble again. This is the actual method. It's the only way that we're moving the football. I know it's not the triple option, but we're coming out in a triple option formation at least. I want to settle to make a throw here. We might have him. We might have him. Okay, we got a tough choice here. I have watched way too many kickers in this game miss from the hash mark, but there's 4 seconds left. I didn't want to risk running a play, and he drills it. We're up by 3. We would also get a stop to open up the third quarter, so we're in a decent position. But to be fair, there's a lot of time left in this game, and I almost wish we could just try to throw this ball deep. 2nd and inches. Let's get the play off. I didn't even know what we were running. You can just see by the way they're pressing our receivers, though, they don't respect us, and that might be for good reason. Nobody open here to throw to, so we'll make this guy miss to the 35. And I am going to stay a firm believer that a playoff spot is still on the table, even if it might not be. It gives me hope for the rest of the season. I've been looking at the rankings. I have to know if it's even possible in the first place before I get excited. And it really does feel like if we could close this game out successfully, we would still be in the running. Now, we're going to pull that. We're going to throw it at the last second for no reason. But it's okay. 2nd and 17. I actually have a read here that we've been avoiding throwing. Kind of locked him down, so we'll take the sack. But let's see if he gets open. Again, we're going to run it back. They got a free rusher in. Not much we can do besides just panic. And we got the blocker. We got the blocker. What a save. Final play of the third quarter. Is it going to be a touchdown? Man-to-man coverage. And it's a catch. It is a catch. Cooper Simmons showed up to this game, but he is very tired at the end of it. And we still haven't won. If we don't pick up a first down here, Notre Dame's going to get the ball back. They're going to kick a field goal, and they are going to win, which means we need 11 yards in 3 plays, and that might do it. They have only 1 timeout left. So if we can just run a tad bit of clock off, this game's over. It was a very fast fourth quarter for us, mainly because they spent so long scoring a touchdown against us. But we have done it. We have figured out how to run our offense at best with a perfect quarterback and actually get some stuff done. It was a little less triple option, but we were still in some of the formations. And it's not often that Army gets to win this game, but Cooper Simmons did what he needed to. He probably rushed for 250, which I believe with numbers like this should be enough to be in the Heisman race. That result is going to leave us with 3 conference games remaining. We're at the top of the American, and we have to play UTSA, who's also near up here. We know that Navy is on our schedule too, so that should be interesting. I just don't understand how North Texas, with 2 losses just like us and us beating them, is ranked 15th, while we can't even crack the top 25. Don't get me wrong, we do have a couple bad losses on our schedule, but that's expected whenever we're running the triple option. And we are going to use these uniforms, jerseys we've not worn all year. You know what? The option actually went well there. But I think against a big school like Notre Dame, it was just such a low chance of it actually going in our favor. Their players were so much more athletic. And these pitches have just been inaccurate. I understand I could get the ability that would help with that. I don't know what that stutter was for, but it really hindered how far this run goes for. Though we have our new method for 3rd and long. We're going to drop back. We're going to look to see if anybody's open. And we got him. We got him. I'm trying to playmaker Tremba. At least he is able to still comfortably get this. So we just got to keep on putting this work in now. Get a good run going. Get a good run going. We're going to go straight through that ref too. Get out of our way, buddy. This feels so much better. I like being on the field with players that are a lot slower again. And Cooper Simmons is coming off of a win against Notre Dame. So, of course, this will seem easier. That result, especially being on the road, just gave me hope again that I had not had for a bit. I've already tried to wipe the 2 losses from last night away from my mind. I know both of them were just heartbreaking, and we got to take care of business to have success. Here on 3rd and 4, we got the hot symbols next to Simmons' name. He's ready to take this one, break off of the tackle, but not get it, which means we're going straight back to it. Straight up the middle. Again, out of hurry-up mode. They got the stand. That's on us. I put our defense in a bad position for absolutely 0 reason. It is now 7-all, and you got to pitch that very, very fast. But what do you do when he's already off the block? 2nd and 10. This is a play where Simmons is just going to have to show off his athleticism. It's a counter, and it kind of worked for us. We got 5, but we are going to need a chance to at least run around in the pocket. Nobody off of their block immediately. We're still going down. UTSA would get a field goal from that, so we're most likely headed into the first half, losing to them, but this is where we put in the work against the Irish, fumbling it out of bounds, and that really feels like the most effective way for us to move the ball. Now, I've been looking over at some of these routes. The playmaker just not working here. That should be dropped, but it's our best receiver. It's Square. That is who I want to hit off of this play. I've been wanting to hit him for a while. We're just going to have to make a really good throw for it to actually work out. You can high ball passes in this game, but you can't low ball passes, which I don't appreciate. Used to be able to low ball passes back in earlier Maddens, like 5 years ago. I guess we're just going to go for the touchdown ourselves here. Hurdling 2 defenders, trying to reach for it. And was that necessary? Absolutely not, but it's a lot more fun, so we do it anyway. I guess we're just going to scramble in, right? Oh, yeah. Easy. That does not change the fact, though, that UTSA is still a pretty solid team, and they have been doing well against us. Shifty's getting loose. Shifty is getting loose. But that's why we need Heisman. If we had Heisman Shifty on that play, I can almost guarantee we turn that into a touchdown. I guess we're not going to pitch it. We'll get a first. And you can just feel all the momentum on our side whenever we're running the ball. UTSA doesn't seem to have much of an answer. But what we don't want here is to get held to a field goal. Got to pitch it out. That could have been a bad thing. Well, we are just going to drop back, analyze the defense. He is double teamed. We're going to have to juke out this defender, and we can't. We're kicking. Luckily, we hit it, but more importantly, look where our defense has set us up. They're carrying again. And for whatever reason, UTSA has come out in prevent defense, which you would think would make it a little bit easier to run the football. And it was. Okay, they got a lot of guys on the line. We just got to get this to the outside before they can catch us. And that's just so easy to pull off. Is that Chinese on the back of our jerseys? See, now I got to zoom in. Okay, I don't know why I thought it was a Chinese language. It says Army. Do I need to get my eyes checked? I have vision issues from long distance, not close up. I was very confused. I was like, that would make no sense for a U.S. Army jersey. We got a little logo on the helmet. This is one of those cards. But the detail on these are nuts. The airborne logo looks awesome. The helmet's cool. And what do we got on this patch as well? Baston gay? I'm afraid that mispronunciation has just made all of my viewers that have served incredibly disappointed. I apologize. I can't pronounce anything. Good news, though. Our defense got a pick 6, so now we're up by 14. We also got the ball back, and we might get another touchdown right here. I think I've run this direct quarterback power run for like our last 6 plays, maybe 7, maybe 8. So eventually, they're going to pick up on it. We're waiting to beat the man-to-man coverage, though, and that's been a great play to mix in. We're able to confidently close this one out due to a very strong fourth quarter. It wasn't looking good at a point in this game. And I told you all there was nothing for us to worry about. We just got ranked at number 22 after a long time of not being in the top 25. FIU and UAB are also ranked. These are 8 and 3 group of 6 schools. From the looks of it, though, we control our own destiny. This is the exact spot that we wanted to be in. And I do think it's going to be beneficial for us to spend on Workhorse. I don't think we're going to get to a Platinum Shifty in this video because we also want to upgrade Magician and Option King. But we are simply still just not generating enough skill points. We got East Carolina, then we have our huge game against Navy. So we just need to ride the wave that we're currently on. It feels like we're playing the best football we've been playing. And to open up this game, first drive could turn into a touchdown right here. That's why you hit the speed boost. You hit the angles right. That's where I don't mind it. We did hit that smooth. It feels good to pull off the touchdown. And I'm going to try to make that defensive tackle miss. That was supposed to stop us. Confidence is high. We cannot forget our roots, though. There's been a lot of focus on just Simmons. Let's get a fullback dive in the mix to try and get the third down. But we were short there, which is why we keep going back to him. Now we pitch it on our next play. You pick up that block correctly, and you could be gone. It just didn't work out that way for us, and we got the workhorse ability, but we are still dealing with wear and tear from the season. We're actually going to catch this one in stride. What we saw against UTSA, though, was after going up 7-0, we started to make mistakes. And it opens up the door for them to keep it competitive, so I would like to avoid that. Looks like we're just going to get around the edge there and have a first. There just haven't been that many teams, though, where our athletes are good enough to pull that one off. So now, 2nd and 13. We're going to get the blocks that we were hoping for and set ourselves up to need a huge run on 3rd and 7. We're going to look up the seam. If it's not there, they got multiple linebackers ready to stop us. But by the time they realized that we were taking off, it was too late. So, going to take the counter here, cut up the middle, and make that guy miss. This is what we need. We just need to take guys on head on. That is where we have found the most of our success recently. Gonna juke out that guy. Gonna spin around both of those defenders. Could be the best play, but we get caught. And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. We're still gonna be in an incredible position as we approach halftime against East Carolina. 2nd and 8. We are just gonna run this up the middle. What did I say? Make that safety make a play on us. But East Carolina is taking timeouts, so they are very well aware that we were trying to chew clock and make sure they don't get this ball back before the start of the 3rd quarter. It might have led to them scoring a touchdown, but that's okay. As this game has gone on, we've still performed pretty well. But I will say, after getting a 45-yard touchdown run in the 3rd quarter, I've started to just want to do random stuff, and it will lead to a safety. Basically, Cooper Simmons just got bored. He put all the work into the first 2 quarters to put us in a good spot, and then we took the second half off, which won't help with the Heisman campaign. We've also locked our spot into the American Conference Championship. The Army-Navy game is still in the American Conference, but it doesn't count as a conference game. It's a little odd. Like, both of these teams still clearly participate in the conference, but everyone in the conference plays just 8 conference games, so this is a 9th that isn't actually an American one. We're also sitting at number 1, right ahead of Austin Simmons. It's not because of our passing stats. Don't look in the bottom right corner. That's pretty embarrassing. And I don't know if EA has coded this to work how it works in real life, but the playoff is decided before the Army-Navy game, so what happens in this might not even affect our playoff spot. In fact, we might be able to just win the American Conference Championship and get that 5th highest rated conference champion spot, even with a loss against Navy. But obviously, we do not want that to happen. This is very, very important. This might mean more than making a playoff run. And we are going to rep the jerseys that they were wearing at the game that I went to this past year. I'm not sure these were in the game when I did the rebuild with both schools, but I got to see those up close in person. It did take place in Baltimore, but it seems like there's a few different sites that they'll use about every year. This was not the right read. We literally went to the wrong side of the field. And listen, my mind is in shambles. Right now, I'm asking Claude how to just end things with this girl. It wasn't a good first date. It's not even ending things with her. I just want it to be clear I don't want more than just maybe as a friend. Even that's just being nice. You know, it was an okay date, but it wasn't someone I'm like, oh, this is going to be a forever thing. Or even like another day thing. So I'm avoiding all awkwardness and mistypos, anything. Just asking AI to type out the message to send. You know, if I had all this stuff when I was in college, I'm not sure if I would have been writing my papers or doing any of my work. How are we about to get a safety here? I think this is punishment. But it does scare me, and it especially scares me for the new generations, because when I grew up, I still had to figure a lot of things out. But another safety. It's another safety. I have a counter to this, though. We're just going to step up and run on the next play. But back to what I was saying. If I had to grow up in the current era, with social media, with AI, I don't know how I would have ever learned anything. It would have been very hard to be motivated to do stuff. So I am fortunate that I still got to grow up, go out, ride my bike around the neighborhood, be lost all day. I feel like one of the last people that got that experience. It might still happen for all we know. That's just the end of the first quarter. I am so tripped out on what is even happening in this game. But we're up by 3, and we will wait to see what the reaction is to that text. Listen, I'm not a bad guy for it. I've been sent it by girls too. It is the PR way out of things. It's like we're running a whole HR department for dating. Maybe that's part of the issue with it nowadays. Oh gosh, this is a pick too. Okay, take everything you've seen from this game, throw it out the window. It's been a bad start, but listen, I do believe part of the issue, I don't want to be rude, so we're going to say Just it wasn't a vibe with him. But I also didn't have as good of a time because I didn't do my typical mini golf. Mini golf is the go-to. It's a guaranteed working first date. Never, ever fails me. It always can be a vibe. She couldn't go out tonight, though, so I was like, we'll just do lunch instead. I want to get back near downtown where I live for a bit. And I don't know. It's just, it doesn't hit the same, especially for a lunch. It's not even a dinner. Dinner can at least be all right. But yes, first date, do an arcade, do mini golf, do something active. Even probably like a main event would probably be pretty solid. They got a bar in there. They got all sorts of stuff. But what do I know? I'm not the relationship guy. I know how to get the dates, and that's past that. Relationship track history since YouTube, it's not too solid that you all get to know about. I've said it before. I'm just not putting out the boys we need to talk type videos. I don't want to have to go through that on the internet. Some people like MMG are built for it. Probably makes them a little bit more personable, but I do like to keep some stuff to myself. Now, we are bouncing back to end this first half, even though this game has just been a mess. But I've kind of just hit that point in the cycle where I've played so much college football. I'm ready for a new game. Probably going to go back, try NFL 2K5 in a little bit once I figure out how to set that up. I think Soft Drink said he'd be willing to help. And also just run some concepts, especially rebuild-wise on here, that I've been waiting on all year. If you all saw the vault of video ideas that have potentially been there for like 2-3 years by now and just never got done, some of you'd be sick because your teams are in there. But there are plenty of ideas. I don't think I can ever run out of ideas. That's at least the good thing about doing college football. To me, though, the most important thing with anything is what just sounds like fun to film on. I think that comes through on the video, and if I'm having fun doing it, then it's probably also going to be somewhat fun to watch. That's why I love these perfect quarterback videos, because typically you get big play after big play. But I do think in doing a lot more of the military type offense, it's been more of a struggle. Anyway, if a video sounds fun, it becomes #1 priority. That's exactly the only thing I want to do. And then the other ones just slowly get moved back. Some of them have been getting moved back for like 2 years. Maybe the complications to setting them up are a little difficult. But some of these option runs recently, I mean, it's just not good. It's not good. We're dropping back. I was going to hit square, but it's looking like Navy's going to hold us to a field goal, and I don't think we have the Heisman Trophy locked up at all. So I would like to get a touchdown pass, but that's one of our best linemen. He literally just did not block him, though they're pressing. Do we have it? We do. Okay, well, this one's going to be over. We're ready for the American Conference Championship. Solid win in the Army-Navy game. And it is the 56th win in this series for Army. We are still considered to be ranked ahead of Toledo and Jacksonville State, so even if they were to win their conference championship, we should get that 5th highest rated spot. But when it comes to the Heisman Trophy, Ole Miss is playing in the SEC Championship, so with them still having 2 players in the running, they might be able to take it away from us. We got to have a good game with Cooper Simmons. I want you to just take a guess in your mind what you believe his rushing stats are, because we know the passing stats aren't anything impressive, but rushing stats-wise, what do you think is going to pop up after this matchup? I have a feeling that it's going to be at least 2,000. If I had to predict 2,400 yards, give me like 28 rushing touchdowns, which is a very impressive season for a quarterback. First play, we're going to pitch it, but he was ready for it. And that's why we're just going to drop back on our next play, look for a huge gain, and fit it into that window. 3rd and 12, Cooper Simmons, another opportunity to hit a deep post or something. Go for the hurdle. Give me something. Not a fumble. I cannot blow it now. We've worked so hard to get to this point, and now we could lose the Heisman. We could lose out on a spot in the playoff. But these are plays that we wouldn't have even been running games ago. I've really lost a lot of my faith when it comes to running the triple option and having a decent bit of success with it. So we're basically going with anything outside of it, and he catches us. We got to punt it back. At least our defense did us right. End of the first quarter. We got this play with potential to go for a lot, but they just make the tackle at the last second, and we'll get 2 more. Do I believe I can win a national championship with Army? At the moment, no. Update, though, the text went over well. You know, a couple years ago, I would probably be more of just, why not Ghost? Why not Ghost? It's easier to do it that way. But I think it's better just to not do that now. Have I matured halfway, even a little bit? Maybe. Just slightly, sliver. And if we could just finish this drive, we'd be tied. But no, that guy is getting through immediately. So we double teamed him here, and it made this possible, setting us up for a QB run up the middle, and we got it. One thing about all the formations like Flexbone and stuff too is most of them do not allow audibles. If this is a good place ball, though, we could have had a touchdown. But back to what I was saying, I think I meant hot routes. You're not able to hot route anything we're going to be short. And I feel like the last time we faced North Texas, their offense was just as bad as it's been today. That was a nice little completion to get us down the field. Just going to run to the outside for 8. And I got my eye on the clock, minute left in the half. I still feel pretty comfortable, but I felt comfortable in the 2 games that we lost. So there's that. When you get a player that's this good, you just assume he'll make the plays when you need him. But that isn't always the case. 2nd and 11. Gonna wait. I hit the wrong button. We had square. That would have been a good play. But nope, instead we make a cross-field throw that just, it wasn't there. And we're gonna step up, but be short. North Texas held us to a field goal, and they continue to stay in this game. We're gonna break off of that tackle, and that throw is perfect. See, that's the thing. Typically with a perfect quarterback, I'm just making laser throws like that after running around for a while. Not a bunch of runs like this, but we can't do that most of the time because either the passing plays in this playbook just aren't there, or our receivers aren't all that. We got the speed. We are gone. It's plays like that that make staying with the triple option worth it. Every so often, you're going to be able to pull off some big ones, but you're going to have a lot of short gains. And I think we have established pretty well on the channel, especially if you're a long-term viewer, that I have zero patience. I want the highlights. I want the quick, instant gratification, instant satisfaction, anything. So that's why it's not for me. Go up the middle, though. I thought there was going to be a hole. Also, reading through the comments last night on the last video I put out, a lot of the older fans of the channel are out in the comments and about. Are you kidding me? Okay, we're challenging that. We are down. But anyway, I believe my demographics on YouTube are true now. I do think I tend to have a slightly older audience, mainly because a lot of the people that love the college football video games back then that played it a ton were older now. But listen, y'all aren't like dinosaurs or anything. You're more like a cool uncle age. That's that. And it does line up. My new dentist knew who I was. It was honestly a really cool feeling. Once he said I had a little cavity that needed to be removed, it wasn't as cool of a feeling, but that is just a small cavity. It wasn't a big deal. I don't know why I was worried about it, but yeah, now I got my good dentist forever. Here at the end of the game, 3rd and inches, we could just end it with one more touchdown. And Simmons might even seal the Heisman race with one. But for whatever reason, I am standing on the statement that he just doesn't feel like 99 speed should. Now, someone's going to type in the comments, we'll adjust the speed threshold, and then he'll feel a lot faster. And you would be correct. It is all under my control. I'm going to complain anyway, even though the slider is there to change it. But I just didn't want it to unbalance things too much. Clearly, we are starting to play better. And it is time to start getting into some of these awards. Now, I think the Walter Camp Award is the running back award. No, that's the Doak Walker. Never mind. If it was the Doak Walker, we somehow won that as a quarterback. That'd be pretty cool. We were the best rusher in the country. Sean Alexander goes to the best freshman. But what we care about isn't the Maxwell. It is the Heisman Trophy. And that is coming right here. They're never going to show our rushing stats, even though that was where we really shine. But we have some bad news. We have Alabama on the road in the 1st round of the playoff. How are we making a championship run? If we were to somehow win it all, we would have to get through Alabama at Bryant-Denny, Miami, and then probably Ole Miss or Clemson. Just a gauntlet of teams. Passing stats-wise, this is nothing to be impressed by. These are stats worse than you'd see anywhere across the country for a quarterback, but rushing-wise, if you predicted 36 rushing touchdowns, 2,700 yards with 50 extra on top of that, that's the weirdest way I've ever said 2,750 in my life, but that is how many we had. And it is time to get Magician up to silver, to Option King up to bronze as we prepare for our next one, where this is it. If we lose, we go home and we don't win a national championship, which is the one thing I said in the intro I really wanted to do in the video. The Heisman is just meh compared to a championship. It's a night game, though. It is a night game at Bryant-Denny. What on earth are we supposed to do about this? They walked down the field and scored on us very fast. And my number one goal for this game is do not have any fumbles. Don't pitch it when we don't need to. Maybe we can get some good speed boosts like that. But it's most likely going to be a lot of passing or making it look like we're going to pass and scrambling instead. We pointed at this kid. You got to outrun him after you call him out. This is how we could beat Bama. Defensively, we were able to hold them to a field goal after they got down to the 30. So that's nice as well. And I am very proud that we still got to this point. There was a part in this video where I thought we might finish the season literally sitting at like 8-4. So to be in the playoff, to win the Heisman Trophy, to win our conference is nice. But the job is not finished. Who said that? I think it was Kobe that said that. Rest in peace. He was a very fun player to watch. Not as fun as Simmons, though. Okay, maybe he was better. And I do miss the NBA that I got to watch growing up. I just don't turn on the NBA that much anymore. And maybe I'm missing out. I could be. But I watch come playoff time, and that is about it. Now, you can't say I hopped on the Pacers bandwagon. That's for sure not a statement you can ever throw out there. I was at the NBA Finals last year, but the only reason I suckered up and paid the ridiculous price I had to for those tickets was because I've been a Pacers fan my whole life. I was there for the Danny Granger days. I was there for watching LeBron every single year ruin any hope we had. I remember when Paul George snapped his leg. I remember when Roy Hibbert dropped 0 points in an elimination game. I was a LeBron hater as a kid. He was a flopper. I was like 10. That's all I knew. It's funny because now I really appreciate him. It's sad to see that he's close to retirement. And it's also really neat to see Bronny doing well. But when I was younger, whether he was on the Cavs, whether he was on the Heat, he ruined a lot of seasons for the Pacers. I'm really hoping all of that can distract you from the fact that we are currently down 24-7. We have done nothing right. And I just want to at least keep things competitive here, but we're not going to be able to outrun these kids. If we are, make a play on the run, they're going to get a hand on that. Back to watching the NBA, though. I'll flip on a playoff game here and there, but that's about it. Anything else, it's just not something I care to turn on. And I don't know when that change happened, because the NBA's got a good portion of the year where that's the only good sport to watch. This is not a diss to you baseball people out there. If they create a college baseball game, I'll certainly play it. I've never even played the original. Okay, don't even talk about this pick, by the way. I don't even care if they return this. This game's over. We are losing. We're out. But yeah, I've always struggled to get into baseball. It's a very long season. You got like a game a day, so it's hard to think that each individual one matters. It's fun to watch in person, but I'm not going to flip it on TV. And it also probably doesn't help that if I had any team to root for, it would be the Cincinnati Reds. Cooper Simmons set the national single-season rushing touchdowns record. That's the only takeaway we can have from that loss. But you know what? I saw that coming. It was a tough place to play. Alabama went on and won the entire thing, 56 points in the national championship. So that's going to do it for this video. I know what my next rebuild's going to be, though. I'll give you a little teaser. If you made it to this point in the video and you are still watching, I'm doing a 10-year Oregon rebuild for my next video with plenty of challenges filled throughout it. I am very excited to see how far I can take the Ducks, win them their first national championship. I will see you all in a few days.